I am Caitlynn McDaniel. I am with Gaiety and Pride on Instagram. It's so great to meet you both.
Hello.
It's great to meet
Hi.
you.
I would love if you both could just introduce yourselves to our audience. Maybe Justin, you can start.
Sure. I'm Justin Simien, a filmmaker and creator of Dear White People.
I'm Jaclyn Moore, writer and executive producer and co-showrunner of Dear White People.
Perfect. And we've both been attached to the Dear White People project for years, Justin, with you creating it, starting with the movie and then the series. I want to pose this question to you both, but starting with you, Justin, just what has this project meant to you?
Wow. It has been a way to metabolize a really trippy experience, that's for sure, of entering Hollywood. And not just entering it, but getting to reflect upon what it has meant with this show that happens to be about the Black experience and has become about my Black experience over the past, 10 or so years. And I kind of can't believe we did it, we've been going so hard and the pace has been so relentless that it is wild to stop and take a look back and go, wow, we did those things. We've been having crazy ideas for this show since season one. And for better or worse, honey, we did them. And we're still alive.
It's out there. You could watch it. It's crazy.
It's nuts. So I'm grateful. That's what I am right now.
I'm also so grateful. I'd worked on shows before Dear White People, and the good shows. I met wonderful people, but nothing that was my artistic sensibility. And Justin read a script I wrote from a pile and liked it, and then met me. And I remember Justin telling the story of me walking in, and I was a boy back then, but and being like, what is this tall white guy going to tell me about oppression? And I was like, so the thing about being bisexual is, and then just talked a lot about cis women calling me, and in not a fun way. Not that there is a fun way, but in a way I did not ask for.
Not in a yes queen kind
yes,
of way.
Exactly. No, it was not good. And but I got the job, and I am so thankful for it because Justin has been, my closest collaborator for the last 5 years. We've sold shows together. We've put together feature pictures together. We have worked on other projects together. This show brought me I would say my artistic family in a way that you kind of hope and dream for, but I think rarely happens. And I'm so proud of this show. I mean, some of the best stuff I think I've ever written, it lives on the show. And a lot of that is because Justin took a chance on me. And then once we started working together, gave me the freedom at times to kind of run with crazy seeming ideas that are some of, I think, our favorite parts of this show now. So I'm just so lucky and feel, the show changed my life. I have it tattooed without the stuff in it, but the logo.
And I love the show. There's such an area of characters and stories. And you touched on that, just about bringing personal experiences into it. How did you decide what you were going to include in the season and what you weren't? We'll start with you, Justin.
Wow. Well, I bring a lot of stuff, to the yard, as it were, at the beginning of the season. And then in the room, we kind of start to work it out. What is it that I'm really trying to say? Is that clear? Is that clean? What of these ideas support that? But also it's important for me to find the entry points for the writers too, because, one of the first things I realized in season one is the movie feels so personal, and I wanted the show to keep feeling that personal. But I also knew that part of why it's a multi-protagonist show is because these issues that come up really deserve and require lots of different points of views. So I want all of my writers to really feel like they've got their hands in the clay. They're not just telling stories about me and my sort of characters that all represent parts of my subconscious, but they're telling stories about themselves too. And they're taking the character and the show in places I wouldn't have thought of on my own. And that's really what that writing process is. That's what it's become. That's sort of the space that we've really crafted and tried to protect.
Yeah. And Justin creates such an incredibly warm, open environment that everybody feels very, I mean, I don't want to talk to everybody, but I have always felt very free to share sort of the dark and scary parts of my life. And I think most of our room always has. Like we've told really personal stories that are tragic in some cases to our lives that live in the show, not wildly changed. And I think that's a testament to Justin's leadership.
And there's a beloved character on the show, Lionel, who is queer, and he's also a person of color, and we get to explore that storyline. So I just wanted to talk about, why is it so important that we have him, and where will we see him in season 4, if you can hint at that?
Well, Lionel has, hold on, my ear thing fell out. Hold on.
That's happened to me before.
Sorry about that. I mean, all of the kids are me, probably some part of me, but Lionel is so clearly an avatar for me. He is gay and black and awkward high. And also, at least in the beginning of the show, has to really contend with his own internalized homophobia. Because the truth is that like there, for Black queer people especially, we don't really see a bunch of versions of ourselves out in the culture, or when we do, we are ridiculed, particularly in Black popular culture, that it's very much changing, but it hasn't fully changed all the way yet. And it certainly was real bad just a few years ago. And so he has to contend with his belief that he doesn't belong around Black people. He has to get over that and realize that that's his stuff, actually. And the thing about Lionel is he's like our way into queer life at Winchester. And it's a double-edged sword, because I like to think I've progressed a lot further than Lionel has progressed in his first years in college. But at the same time, like, we got to be honest, it doesn't just, you don't just come out and then like, rainbow light hits you and you just become who you are. Like, it is a journey. It is messy. It is difficult. It is ongoing. It is complicated. And we wanted to tell the truth about that, but also, frankly, bring more queer stories into a space that is traditionally where we tell Black stories. Those are things that really belong together. Historically, so much has come from those two cultures and the things that happen when they react against each other. And we haven't really been able to tell those stories, at least in my lifetime, until kind of right now. So, it means a lot to me personally.
And, I feel like it's almost like an elephant in the room. I mean, this season is different from the others because it's a musical. We're adding dance and singing numbers. Jaclyn, I wanted to ask you, I mean, with writing the season, how is that like adding these songs in?
Oh, it was great. I mean, Justin and I are both big time musical theater queers. So it was a delight. I mean, we started the writer's room every day for the first 6 weeks with writers basically doing show and tell of bringing in their favorite movie musical scenes and songs and what makes a good. And we sort of did honestly, it felt like film school of going through and like what makes a musical moment in a movie work and what doesn't. And we watched a lot that don't work or that we don't think work. And as a result, we ended up kind of, I feel like, discovering the kind of things that we love in movie musicals. The kind of numbers we really love. And again, as musical theater queers, it was so fun to then after watching so many and being like, oh, this moment. And, and not always just from musicals. I remember one of my favorites is from Inside Llewyn Davis, which is not a traditional musical. It's about a musician, but there's a musical number in that plays with audience expectation in this really beautiful way. When Oscar Isaac is singing for F. Murray Abraham. And we talked about that. It's like, okay, well, how do we play with audience expectation and how can we bring that to this number and how can we bring that to that number? And it was just like kids in candy store. Honestly, the writing part of this season was sort of a delight. Now the production part during COVID, less so, but the writing part was a true joy. Yeah. We have notes for COVID.
Yeah.
Well, I love how the season turned out. Congratulations to you both. And thank you so much for chatting with me today.
Oh, thank you so
thanks
much
for having us.
Yeah, it was great meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
Like this video? Follow us for more.